Why would you throw your life away for this silly little alien?
Good time.
He's my friend.
Let's go! This is my power. And I'm using it to protect my friends. Let's go! Let's go!
Hey everyone, BilboCraft here, and welcome back to another movie review. Today we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, before I get into this movie, if you're looking for the same movie vibe that you got from Detective Pikachu that came out last year, this is going to be the same movie that you're going to get from this vibe. Now, before I start my review, I'm going to come out and say this. Before they did the whole remodel of Sonic, when they released the first teaser and it showed what he looked like, I had no problem with what he looked like. I was like, okay, he looks live action. Doesn't look good, but it doesn't look bad either. But I'm okay with it. And I couldn't help when watching this movie just be like, I wonder what he would look like, man, if they just kept what he looked like before. But I am happy that that they were able to change what he looked like, and he looked, more like his video game adaptation. And he still looks really good in this movie. But going into this movie, I had expectations a little bit right here, and the movie went about like right here. So like, but the movie was overall really, really good. It shocked me with a lot of things, and I'm gonna come out and just say this as well. I'm not a big Sonic fan. I don't know a whole lot about Sonic. I know the characters. I just don't know his backstory. I don't know a whole lot about him, so I'm sorry about that. I wasn't a big Nintendo kid growing up. I played a lot of Mario games. I played a few Sonic games. I played a few Zelda, a few Pokemon, and the Super Smash Bros. Games, but I was never into them like everyone else was. But I took my cousin Robert to go see this because he's a big fan of those, and I took him to go see Detective Pikachu last year as well. He loved it, so I know he was going to love this movie as well, and we both had a ton of fun with this. I also happened to go see it the other night with my friends, and they loved it. What got me to go see this movie overall was Jim Carrey, just Jim Carrey overall. And him playing Eggman, oh my goodness, he killed it, man. Everyone in this movie killed it with their performance. So the movie starts off. Sonic is like he's like, oh, so you want to know how I got here and why I'm getting chased by an Eggman? All right, let's back this up. So it's just the island and the planet that he's lived on, and he was so cute and adorable as a little baby. Oh, it's just cute. There's this like owl named Lothcloth or something like that, and Sonic gets the two of them. Oh, so sorry. The two of them get chased by some warriors or some people that just want to take Sonic and get all his power. So they chase after them. They shoot the owl, and she gives Sonic a bag of rings, and she tosses one in it. It opens a portal to Earth, and she's like, "You will be safe on this planet. Just remember, if you ever have trouble, or if you ever get into trouble, and you need to find a new world, just use the rings. Say whatever world you want to get to, and go there. And don't ever stop running, and don't let anybody get your power." So she sacrifices herself. Sonic goes onto Earth, and then we jump a few years later. We meet Tom. He's an officer in Greenville. And he's there just patrolling, and his speed gun alerts him that something's run off, something's scanning it, and it goes like from 289 to 300 miles per hour. Sonic's over there just teasing at him. And so he starts narrating again, and he shows everyone the town of Greenville, what's it like, and he's spying on everyone. He spies on Tom, his wife, and Crazy Carl, which calls him the Blue Devil, and the picture that he had of him was, it was funny. The gag that Sonic's like, Crazy Carl gets hung up on one of his traps, and he's like, "I know you're out there, Blue Devil, and I know you're real." And Sonic goes, "No, I'm not." It's hilarious. So Sonic shows his man cave, and it was really, really cool as well. I love that he was reading the Flash comics there, and he's playing ping pong by himself. He used a washer as like his treadmill. So Tom's about to get this promotion. He just signed an application to be a San Francisco officer, So he gets the job, and so his wife is like, I'm going to go check out some apartments in San Francisco. And he's like, okay. Um, and one thing I like that this movie didn't do, it didn't tell the same story that we're used to. Like, oh, this couple, oh, they're dating each other. Something happens. One of the couple members looks crazy in front of the other one, and it just makes the two of them fall in love with each other. It did something like it felt real. Like it felt the couple was real. Like they lived together. They had a dog. Tom worked 2 jobs to pay off the bills for the house, while his wife worked 1 job, and she's like, I don't care to sacrifice a little bit so we can have the life that we want. So it felt real. Sonic feels all alone a little bit. Like he's there watching everyone in Greenville, and he's like, I want to be with them. I want them to know me, but he's just afraid they're all gonna try to take his power away. So he's like, I gotta stay hidden. So he sees a baseball game happen, and later that night he plays baseball himself, and he's there as he went to the game playing against himself, but he slowly realizes I'm all alone, and so he starts to run, and he goes super crazy. He then charges up with like some lightning and electricity, and eventually he explodes it, and the entire west coast of the United States gets electrocuted and wipes out. All the power is wiped out by his supercharge, and he's like, I'm sure nobody saw that huge blue explosion, and so everyone's freaking out. Tom, earlier that day, he found like one of Sonic's hedgehog pieces. I don't know what they're called, the little freaky piece. I don't know. So he finds one. It's lit up blue, and so the government's like, "Oh, we gotta find someone that can find out what this power surge was. Was it a terrorist attack? Was it an EMP?" And so like, we gotta call him the best of the best. So, and so they're like, let's call him Dr. Robotnik. And they're like, no, he's wacko. And he's like, well, his drone tech is revolutionary. He's got GPA charts off the charts. So they're like, we just got to call him in, even if it's the worst case scenario. So he rolls up there in his big old drone transfer truck, and Jim just walks out, and he's just like, huh. And so he walks up to this soldier, and he's like, what's your name, soldier? And before he said, he's like, wrong. I'm in charge. And he just stole that entire scene. He's like, while you were, he's like, you know what? Nobody cares who you are, because nobody cares about your mom. Nobody cares that you're the special. Nobody cares that you're reading at a 3rd grade level. Have you finished Charlotte Web? Spoiler warning: she dies in the end. What does she leave? She leaves a nasty egg sack. And then all his drones just fly, and he's just like, look what came out of my egg sack. And the jokes that they had in this movie were some of them felt like too adulty, and I'm not sure how many kids caught on to these jokes, but they were hilarious. They were funny jokes, and so I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not really that tired, but. So Sonic realizes, oh, the drones are looking after him, so he's like, I gotta get out of here. He goes to his man cave, he gets the rings, and he's like, okay, I gotta leave. And then the drones start to get near his cave, and he's like, okay, I gotta go somewhere else. So he leaves the cave, and so he makes his way over to Tom's house, and Tom notices someone's broken into his shed. So he grabs a tranquilizer dart, and he makes his way over to the shed. And Sonic is there just holding the ring, and he's like, alright, we're going to the Mushroom Planet. Before he throws the ring, Tom shows up, he just looks at Sonic, and both of them are just like, what? And so Sonic is like, meow. I wish they had left the meow line out of the movie, but I'll let it slide. I thought it was just a corny line to leave in. So, Tom shoots him. He was freaking out, and he shoots Sonic in the leg. Sonic drops the bag of rings and the ring, and he looks at Tom's shirt, and it said San Francisco, and it had the pointy building on it, and he's like, San Francisco. And the ring opens up, it opens a portal to San Francisco, and the bag of rings falls through the portal onto the building, and the ring closes, So Tom takes Sonic back into the house, and he's like, you're not gonna abduct me, are you? And he's like, no, you abduct me. And he's like, that's fair. And he's like, you talk to Donuts. And he's like, that's fair too. And so Robotnik shows up, and he's like, okay, hey, I'm from the power company. I'm here to inspect the power surge that went on. And he's like, okay, just come on in. And he's like, if you work for the power company, you must know my boy Spencer. And he's like, oh yes, Spencer's such a good guy. And so he's like, yeah, you just come on right in. And Tom just stops him. He's like, if you think I'm that stupid enough to let you in here, you're really, really stupid. And he's like, the power company usually checks at the back of the house. That way they can figure out what's wrong with the exterior, and then they can find out what's wrong with the interior. But you're not from the power company. My buddy Spencer is not a, he doesn't play tennis. He plays Frisbee. He's like, okay. And both of them had this exchange, and he's like, what? He's like, Mr. Rokowski, and he's like, it's Tom. The people, and he's like, my dentist calls me Tim. I would correct him now, but he's been saying it for so long, it'd just be weird to tell him. And he's like, okay, Tom, his dentist calls him Tim. Let me fill you in on something. Last night a power urge went da-da-da-da, and he's like, I'm smarter than you. While you were sipping on formula, I was spitting out formula. And he's like, actually, I was breastfed. And he's like, yeah, nice, rub that in my orphan face. It was just, it was so funny. Jim Carrey, this performance he did was outstanding. It was one of the best performances he's ever done before. It was just really, really, really good. So he makes his way into the house. His drones are looking all around Tom's house. They go up into the attic, which is where Sonic's hiding. Sonic rolls down the stairs, hits something, and Jim's like, all right, I'm coming in. And there's a raccoon there just eating cake. And Tom's like, here, have some of the cake. And he's like, I hear raccoons have the best smells for, eating a bunch of garbage. And Jim's there like, I'm never wrong. And he starts to walk out, and he notices the glowing piece of Sonic's hair. And he's like, see, I was never wrong. And he's like, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell me where it is. And so Sonic is like, here I am, just don't hurt him. And Robotnik just screams. Tom punches him. The two make their way out of the truck. They both drive off, and Robotnik and his assistant talk for a minute. And he's like, we got to find him. Da-da-da-da. So Tom and them pull over on the road, and he's like, all right, you got to get out of here. I'm not trying to get in trouble. You're an alien from another world. Just get out of here. And he's like, all right. He's like, but it was your fault that you lost my rings. And he's like, okay, your rings are in San Francisco, right? Just go get them. He's like, I don't know where San Francisco is. And he's like, just go west. You can't miss it. And he's like, okay. He runs off, and he's like, wow, he's fast. And he comes back, and he's like, so, as I plummeted into the dark and wet Pacific Ocean, I realized a few things. Number 1, I have no idea where I'm going. Number 2, it's your fault that I'm here, and you shot me. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he's like, I'm wet, I'm cold, there's a fish on my head. And he's like, I'm not going to be able to do this without you. He's like, all right, get in. And he's like, all right, we get to go road trip. And so they make their way to this bar. Sonic, one of my favorite things he did, he's sitting there in the driver's seat, and he's got it back in the recliner. He's just going back and forth. He's like, he sees a bunch of bikers and a bunch of rednecks driving, and he's like, be strong, be strong. It was fun. I can't remember the guy that plays him. It's Ben something. The guy that plays Sonic, he did a good voiceover. I thought he did really, really good. Another thing happens between Tom and Robotnik over the phone. It was hilarious. They eventually make their way. Tom finds Sonic in the bar, and Tom is like, "We gotta get out of here." He's like, "But there's so much I want to do, and it's my last night on Earth. Come on, man, let's just do it. Let's just have some fun." And he's like, "All right, then." He's like, "You got anything on your bucket list?" And he's like, "What's a bucket list?" And he's like, "It's fun. It's a list that you make of things you want to do before you die." And he's like, "Okay." And he makes a bunch of lists, and he's like, tonight's my last night on Earth, and I'm not going to be able to do all the things he wants. And he's like, well, we are in a bar, and there's a lot of things you can do in this place, so let's just do all the things you want to do. And he's like, okay. And so they have like a little montage of things Sonic wants to do, and it was some cool things. Eventually, there's a bar fight, and Sonic pulls the Quicksilver trick from X-Men Days of Future Past, where everything just slows down. There's a song playing in the background, and Sonic is doing all this goofy stuff and just messing around with people. It was fun to watch, but yet again, I've seen it before, and nothing new was really added to it. But it was still a cool sequence. Bar fight ends. They both drive off, and they stay in this hotel. Robotnik, he finds them the next day on the road, and he sends in one of his drones, which that was a cool sequence. It was also it was quite funny too. Every single drone that Sonic takes out, another drone just pops out of it, and there was like it was a tank drone at first, then it was a mini car, and then it went as a scooter, and then it went as like a little helicopter, like eyeball helicopter. And there Sonic is trying to figure out what his new power is, where he can make up a supercharge. He does the floss dance, which was goofy, but also quite funny. Eventually he gets a bomb. The drone gets on his hand and it's about to blow up. And so they manage to get it off, and it blows up anyway, and Sonic gets knocked out. Robotnik figures out that Sonic's hairpiece can glow electricity, and he's like, "All right, we can apply this to my technology." And he speaks some form of Japanese. I don't know how he said it, but he said something in Japanese, and in translation, it was interesting. Just the way he said it. The way he said interesting in Japanese was just hilarious. And he starts to analyze it. He's starting to figure out he can harness power. And his setup that he had, the music he had was funny. The things he was doing in his truck was funny. The dances he was doing, just outstanding. It was a funny scene. So Tom takes Sonic to his wife's sisters, because they're in San Francisco too. They tie up his sister, which hates Tom, and they wake up Sonic, and Tom's niece gets him his red shoes, because all this time Sonic has been wearing these busty, run-down shoes, and so she gets him his classic red video game shoes. And he loves them, and he looks really, really good in them too. So they make their way to the tower. They get up there, and there was this one joke where they have Sonic in the bag, and there's these two bystanders that are standing next to them, and they're like, "You got your kid in that bag?" And he's like, "No, not my kid, but it is a kid." And they're both just like, "Crazy person," and he's just shaking the bag. And he's like, "You like it in there?" And Sonic's like, "This is worse than the kid you had me in earlier." So the bystanders back up. It was a funny joke, but at the same time, it's not the joke that I like. And it's also, this is supposed to be a kid's movie. What kind of message are you trying to send here, Sega? So they make their way to the top of the building. They get the bag of rings. And so they're both saying goodbye to one another. Robotnik shows up in his flight suit, but his video game adapted costume, and he's got all his drones there, all the guns are shooting, aimed at all of them, and Sonic finally drops the name, and he's like, "Come on, Mr. Eggman, you'll never catch me with your little egg drones," and he's like, "All right, confidence." Jim also had another good line. He was like, "Oh, Tom, I see you bought a lover. Will she just be collateral damage?" It was really good, and Sonic knocks Tom and his girl and his wife off the building, and he does another slow motion sequence. He grabs all the missiles and all the bullets. He hits all the drones with them. He even plays the Sonic tune with one of them. Eventually, Robotnik is able to hit the button that will make him go super fast like Sonic. So now they start. They run throughout all of San Francisco. They eventually go to Paris. They go to Egypt, and they go to China. Tom and his wife they get thrown through a portal through one of the rooms that Sonic threw, and they end back in Greenville. And so Sonic gets shot out of a portal, and crashes into Greenville. Tom sees him, and Robotnik's there, and he's about to kill him. And so, Tom he uses one of the rings to jump on top of Robotnik's flying jet, and he gives him a few good punches. Eventually, he throws him off, and he's like, "Why would you ever try to risk your life for this creature?" And he's like, "Sonic was more than a creature. He knew more about being a human than you ever be. He was more than just human. He was like my friend." Sonic eventually wakes up, gets the encouragement he needs, and just goes Super Saiyan. He charges up again. Tom throws a ring, which opens up the Mushroom World. Sonic gives a heroic speech, goes Super Saiyan on Robotnik, and sends him through the portal. And the movie ends with Tom and his wife adopting Sonic as their kid, but not really their kid. They brought all the stuff that he had in his man cave up into the attic. They turned the attic into his room, and he loved it. He did another floss dance again, and the government shows up, and they're like, "Have you noticed the blue alien anywhere nearby?" And they're like, "Nope, haven't seen him." And they're like, "Okay," and they're like, "Here, accept this the certificate of gratification for keeping quiet about recent events," and it's an Olive Garden gift card. And the governor's like, "Have you tried that unlimited pasta? It just never ends." Which again was a funny line, but like really, the government's gonna give them an Olive Garden gift card. Like they couldn't give them like money or anything. I get it's a joke, but still, like really, is that really how the government's gonna treat? But hey. So the movie ends. There's two end credit scenes. The first end credit has Robotnik. He's there shaving his head. He's bald, and he's got the big mustache now, and he's on the Mushroom Planet. He was able to scavenge all the pieces from his broken jet, and he puts it on his back, and he's like, "I'll be home by Christmas," and he's there holding Sonic's hairpiece again, and it's still got a little bit of juice in it, and he's like, "I'm gonna find a way to get off this planet, and I'm gonna get my revenge." And there he's just like walking. He's like, he threw a boulder that he like made look like his assistant, like his friend. And he throws it, and he's like, "Here, you can get a few steps. It's reconnaissance." And it was funny. And then the last end credit scene, you see Tails show up at the very end. He's like, "It's been so long. Hopefully I'm not too late. I know he's here. I just cannot wait to meet him." And you see his tail form a helicopter turbines, and he just flies off. So I'm excited to see the next Sonic movie. If I had to rank this from 1 out of 10, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for me. It was a good movie. It was a bit cringy here and there. But it was another great, successful live-action adaptation of a video game. I'm not one to judge on video game movies or books based off or movies based off video games or movies based off books. If I've seen it, if I've read it, and if I've played it, and I think it's a good thing, then I'm gonna let my opinions known to the world. I thought Tomb Raider was a good movie. Not the old ones, the one that came out in 2017 or 18, I can't remember. One of the two. I thought that was a good movie. I cannot wait for the second one if they're ever gonna make it. I like Detective Pikachu. Hopefully they'll make another Pokemon movie. I know they're gonna make another Sonic movie. And then we got Uncharted. The first Uncharted movie that's starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Tom plays, of course, Nathan Drake, and Mark will play Sully. I'm looking forward to that. That was supposed to come out this December, but since it's been pushed back a lot lately, it's coming out next year or 2022. I can't remember. But I'm excited for the next. I'm excited for the Uncharted movie coming up. Something else that I was doing when Sonic mentioned Mushroom World at the very beginning of the movie before we saw what it looked like. I thought it was the Mushroom Kingdom from Mario, and I was like, "Are we getting that crossover yet?" So, let me know down in the comment section below. Do you want a Super Smash Bros. Cinematic universe? So, like, first we have Detective Pikachu, next we got Sonic, next we're gonna get something else like Samus, Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Donkey Kong. Any of those characters, do you want to see a Super Smash Bros. Cinematic universe? Because I know I would. I would love it. I played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, And I'm telling you, I've never seen a video game quite like that before, and it blew me away. That is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I would love that to be adapted to the big screen one day. So yeah, it's 7 out of 10 for this movie. Let me know what you guys think about the Sonic movie down in the comment section below. Also, go check out my Birds of Prey and 1917 movie reviews, and also go check out some more of my movie reviews in the past few years, guys. Also, don't forget to look up me on my social media accounts as well. Especially Instagram, you will get all my video games, movies, or ratings from any of those guys. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this movie review. Let me know how you guys think down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good. Bye. And remember, always imagine bigger.